At 9:12 p.m., the police received a call from Daniel Harper. His voice was steady, controlled, almost rehearsed. "My wife isn't breathing. I think she fell down the stairs." The dispatcher asked if he had tried CPR. "I did. She's gone." When officers arrived at the two-story home on Cedar Ridge Lane, Daniel was sitting on the kitchen floor, his back against the cabinet, staring blankly ahead. His wife, Melissa Harper, lay at the bottom of the staircase, her neck bent at an angle that didn't match a fall. Daniel told the same story 3 times. Melissa had been upstairs. He heard a thud. He ran out and found her at the bottom of the stairs. It sounded plausible, except for one detail. There were no bruises consistent with tumbling down wooden steps, and her phone was missing. Neighbors described Daniel and Melissa as normal. No screaming, no police visits, no visible drama. Married for 8 years, no children. Melissa worked remotely as a graphic designer. Daniel worked in insurance. But when detectives searched the house, they noticed something strange. Melissa's laptop was open on the dining table. Not asleep, not locked, open to a voice memo app. The last recording had been made 3 hours before she died. It was titled, "If Anything Happens to Me." It was titled, "If Anything Happens to Me." Detectives played it in the living room while Daniel sat across from them. Melissa's voice came through, soft but shaky.
"I don't know if I'm overreacting. Maybe I am. But Daniel has been acting different for weeks. He watches me when he thinks I don't notice. He checks my phone when I'm asleep. Yesterday he asked if I ever thought about dying. He said it so casually it scared me."
Daniel's face didn't move. He simply blinked, slowly.
"I'm starting to feel like something is wrong. Like I'm not safe. I'm recording this just in case I'm right."
Daniel exhaled through his nose. "That doesn't mean anything," he said. She had anxiety. Detectives didn't respond. They kept listening. Timestamp, 6:44 p.m.
"Daniel just came home. I'm in the bedroom. I locked the door because I feel silly, but also silly. He tried the knob a few minutes ago. He never does that. He's walking around the house, but not saying anything."
In the background of the audio, faint footsteps could be heard. Slow, measured, pacing. Daniel shifted in his chair. "That's not pacing. That's just walking," he said. But nobody had asked. Timestamp, 8:03 p.m. This one was different. Melissa was whispering, crying.
"He's downstairs talking to himself. I can hear him. He keeps saying, it has to look like an accident. I don't think he knows. I can hear him through the vent."
Daniel's composure cracked for half a second. A tiny shake of the head. "That's insane," he muttered. Detectives paused the audio. "Why would she say that?" one asked. "I don't know. She was paranoid lately." But paranoia doesn't invent footsteps. And paranoia doesn't invent voices. Timestamp, 9:05 p.m., 7 minutes before the 911 call. Melissa's breathing was fast.
"He's coming upstairs." I moved the dresser in front of the door. I don't know what he's going to do. If you're hearing this, it means he...
A loud bang, wood cracking. Daniel stood up. "That's enough," he snapped. But the detective held up a hand. They let the recording continue. Heavy footsteps. Melissa crying. A door bursting open. Her voice screaming.
"Daniel, please."
Then a thud. Then silence. Then, faintly, Daniel's voice. "Calm. Why did you make me do this?" The room went completely still. Daniel didn't speak again. Daniel had staged the fall. He'd placed her body at the bottom of the stairs. He'd even scuffed the wall to mimic impact. But he forgot one thing. Melissa's laptop had automatically uploaded the recordings to her cloud account the moment they were made. Even if he had destroyed it, the files were already saved and time-stamped and backed up. Daniel pleaded not guilty. His defense claimed the audio was taken out of context. They said Melissa suffered from anxiety and paranoia. They said the "why did you make me do this" could mean anything. But the prosecution did something devastating. They played the entire 27 minutes of recordings in court. No interruptions, no commentary, just Melissa's fear, Daniel's footsteps, the door breaking, her final words. By the end, jurors were crying. Daniel stared straight ahead, expressionless, as if listening to a stranger. During digital forensics, investigators found something else. A deleted note on Melissa's phone, written the night before.
If I disappear, it wasn't an accident. Daniel has been researching how to stage falls. I saw it in his browser history. I think he's planning something. I'm scared to sleep.
Daniel had cleared his browser history, but he forgot. The Wi-Fi router logs still stored the search data. Searches like, can a fall break a neck instantly? How to make a fall look accidental? Do stairs cause blunt trauma? He had planned everything, except the recordings. Daniel Harper was sentenced to life in prison. He never showed emotion, never apologized, never explained. When asked if he had anything to say before sentencing, he simply said, "She misunderstood." Melissa's family released the recordings publicly. They said people needed to hear them, to understand that danger doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks quiet, polite, ordinary. Today, the Harper house still stands, empty. And if you stand at the bottom of those stairs, you can still see the faint scuff marks Daniel made, trying to fake a fall, not knowing his wife had already told the world the truth. 3 months after Daniel Harper was sentenced to life in prison, the case was considered closed. Evidence logged, house empty, files archived. But Detective Laura Hayes couldn't shake a feeling. Something about the timeline bothered her. Melissa's last recording ended at 9:07 p.m. Daniel's 911 call came in at 9:12 p.m. 5 minutes. 5 unaccounted minutes. She requested the original audio files again, not the copies used in court, but the raw cloud upload straight from Melissa's account. That's when the forensic analyst noticed it. A file no one had opened. It had no title, just a timestamp, 9:09 p.m. It wasn't in the voice memo app folder. Muffled, but very real. They enhanced the audio and pressed play. At first, there was nothing but rustling fabric. Then Melissa's voice, weak, distant. I can't breathe. A scraping sound, like something heavy being dragged. Then Daniel's voice, not panicked, not rushed, calm, focused. You should have just trusted me. Detective Hayes froze. This wasn't the staircase. This wasn't during the struggle. This was after. Melissa was still alive. The audio continued. A dragging sound across wooden floor, a door creaking open, then the unmistakable hollow echo of the stairwell. Daniel grunted slightly as he lifted something heavy. Melissa whimpered, "Please, Daniel." Then his voice, closer to the phone. "Now, I told you not to make this difficult." A loud thud, wooden impact, then silence. Melissa hadn't fallen down the stairs. She had been pushed, while still conscious. The medical examiner had ruled her death consistent with a fall. Because Daniel had waited, he waited those 5 minutes before calling 911. Long enough for her injuries to become fatal. Long enough so that even if paramedics arrived quickly, it would be too late. He didn't panic. He calculated. And that changed the charge from second-degree murder to premeditated first-degree murder. Detectives visited Daniel in prison. They didn't tell him about the file. They simply asked, "Why did you wait 5 minutes before calling?" Daniel shrugged. "I was in shock." "Did you move her body?" "No." "Did you speak to her after she fell?" "No." Detective Hayes slid a phone across the table, pressed play. Melissa's faint voice filled the room. Daniel didn't react at first, but when his own voice came through the speaker, his jaw tightened. For the first time since his arrest, Daniel Harper looked afraid. He had known about the laptop. He had known about the voice memos, but he didn't know Melissa had placed her phone in her hoodie pocket. Still recording, still listening, even after he thought the evidence had stopped, even after he thought she was silent, she was still telling the truth. 2 weeks after detectives confronted him, Daniel requested pen and paper. He wrote a letter to the court, not a confession, a complaint. He claimed the recording was illegal. He claimed it violated his privacy. He demanded it be thrown out. but the judge ruled a victim documenting her fear inside her own home is not a violation. It is evidence. Before Melissa died, she had sent one email, scheduled to send at midnight, to her sister. The subject line read, "In case I'm right." Attached to the email was a folder. Inside were screenshots, photos Melissa had taken of Daniel's notebook weeks earlier, a notebook he kept in his desk drawer, a page titled, "How to Make It Look Accidental," bullet points underneath, "Use stairs, no weapon, wait before calling, stay calm." Melissa had known. She had been gathering proof quietly, carefully, bravely, while living in the same house as the man planning her death. Detective Hayes said later in an interview, "We always say victims don't get to tell their side of the story. Melissa did, in real time, and that's what made this case unforgettable. Not just the murder, but the fact that the victim documented the crime as it was happening, step by step, breath by breath, fear by fear, while the killer believed he was in control." When police returned Melissa's belongings to her family, her sister found something chilling, a sticky note inside Melissa's desk, written weeks before her death. Just 4 words. "He thinks I don't know." Daniel Harper thought he had planned the perfect crime, but Melissa Harper planned the perfect truth. And even after he silenced her, she kept speaking. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel for more chilling videos like this.